It's Thursday, March 5th, and today we're going to get into the latest with our multi-day severe weather event. We have back-to-back enhanced threats today and tomorrow, and then we have a marginal to slight risk as we push out towards Saturday. And then you can see our day 6 as we get into early next week. We already have a slight risk out there through portions of the plains. And it still looks like we have a major cool down coming for the second half of March. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. If you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And of course, if you like the video, like the video. Let's get into the weather updates. All right, let's start by taking a look at our live radar. We have some snow showers moving through portions of western Montana, southeastern Idaho, and southwestern Utah. You can see we also have some winter storm warnings up there as well. We've got some thunder showers moving through portions of eastern Oklahoma. These are going to be moving into northwestern Arkansas as we move throughout the day. And then you can see we also have these showers moving through portions of the Ohio Valley, up into the Midwest, into western PA. Also up through portions of the Mid-Atlantic and New England. Just some showers. Really no severe weather at this time. You can see, though, we have a lot of flash flood warnings lined up here, and this is going to continue to be an issue as we move through the next 48 to 72 hours. Here's the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. We're starting to cool down in the upper Midwest, northern plains, northern Rockies, and Northwest. You can see these cooler anomalies that are likely to settle in. Still pretty warm though across much of the south and then out towards the east. As we push out a little bit further towards our 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, we're starting to cool down through portions of the Ohio Valley and East Coast. Still got those cooler anomalies potentially up there in the upper Midwest and the northern tier states. The Southwest, unfortunately, you are going to remain hot. Here's our 5-day expected precipitation from the Weather Prediction Center, and obviously the target is Mississippi, Arkansas, eastern Texas, and portions of Louisiana. You guys could receive over 3 to 4 inches of rainfall here over the next 5 days. It could even be more than that. I think isolated 6+ is possible. And if we were to take a look at the 7-day expected precipitation, this is likely to help with the drought issues we have out here. We are seeing widespread 2 to 3 inch plus, and again, we're seeing those isolated areas that could potentially receive 6+ inches of rainfall over this next week. I'm sure most of you are already aware of this, but we have multiple days of severe weather ahead of us. And by the way, we were only looking at severe weather today in the plains. Now we do have a marginal risk out here stretching through portions of Kentucky and West Virginia. So let's watch out for some strong to severe thunderstorms out there today. Obviously, the focus in what area looks to be the most severe today is going to be out here through portions of the Texas Panhandle, central to western Oklahoma, and then central to southern Kansas. We do have a 2 to 5% risk for tornadoes, and this 2 to 5% here through portions of central to western Oklahoma and then up there through the Texas Panhandle, the eastern Texas Panhandle, is hatched, meaning we have a chance for significant tornadoes, EF2+. We also have that hatched wind risk. So this is going to be a 5 to 15% hatched wind risk, meaning damaging winds, we're talking 70+ mile per hour wind gusts, are possible. The hail risk is very serious out here as well. We have that 5, 15, and 30% risk for hail. This is also a SIG 1, so we could see large hail, maybe even pushing 3 inches plus in diameter. Again, the areas we're most concerned about with this: Woodward, Fairview, almost all the way out towards Amarillo, Altus. If you're anywhere in this region, just be aware we could see some very large hail. Our main threat today with that marginal categorical risk out east is just going to be the threat for strong winds. You can see a 5% chance for some damaging winds stretching through Kentucky, southeastern Ohio, and West Virginia as we move throughout the day. Getting into day 2, you can see we have a much broader setup for severe weather. We have a large marginal risk stretching all the way from central Texas up through Michigan. You can see that slight risk stretches from Texas as well up through southern Wisconsin. And then the enhanced risk, which we're really watching, this is going to include cities like Kansas City, Topeka, Tulsa, Oklahoma City. And take a look at how many people are in these severe risk zones tomorrow. 18 million in the marginal, 31 million, almost 32 million in the slight, and then over 7 million in that enhanced risk zone. And you can see that enhanced, again, Oklahoma City, Kansas City, Tulsa, Wichita, Overland Park, lots of major cities. There's a significant tornado risk on Friday. We can see that 2% tornado risk, 5% tornado risk, and then that 10% tornado risk. And as I've explained, best way to look at this is there's a 2% chance that a tornado could touch down within 25 miles of your location if you're in this 2% risk. Same thing goes for the 5%, and then of course the 10%, a 10% chance a tornado could touch down within 25 miles of your location. Now, if you're in the hatched risk, you can see this SIG 1 here. That means we could see a significant tornado. So we could be pushing EF2+, and almost this entire tornado risk zone is hatched. You can see this includes, again, a lot of major cities just to the south of Davenport here: Des Moines, Lincoln, Omaha, Kansas City, Topeka, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Dallas, Fort Worth. I mean, I could go on and on. Make sure you know where you are on this map, but even if you're not in the hatched area, if you're in any of these colors, even on the border of any of these colors here, just know there's a chance that we could see some tornadoes. The damaging wind risk tomorrow is also very broad. You can see that 5, 15, and 30% chance for damaging wind. Again, we have that SIG 1 here, meaning we could see significant significant damaging winds. We're talking about 70 to 75 plus mile per hour wind gusts. Again, make sure you know where you are on this map. Obviously, if you're out here, the chances for damaging winds aren't as high and they may not be as strong. You can still get a strong supercell even if you're out in this 5% area though. It's possible, so it's best to keep your alerts on. Of course, the area that we're really watching is this slight hatched and this 30% wind risk in here as well. And the hail risk tomorrow continues to expand. You got that 5, 15, and 30% risk for hail tomorrow. And that SIG 1 stretches all the way from basically southern Wisconsin down almost to the Mexican border, with the highest threat still being in that same area that we're seeing the highest tornado and wind threat through portions of Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri. By the way, we now also have a severe threat for Thursday. You can see we have a slight risk up here stretching through portions of northeastern Kentucky up through West Virginia, eastern Ohio, western Pennsylvania, and then out there towards Buffalo and western New York. The marginal stretches all the way from New York and Michigan down into Texas, where we have another slight risk, eastern, southeastern Texas, and then through portions of Louisiana. I think the slight risk may be expanded just a little bit. We're going to have to watch and see. I will say I do agree for the most part with this. I do think some of the stronger storms will be up into the northeastern sector of this storm and then down here to the southwest. The biggest threat in the center area could be kind of these gust fronts. Although when it comes to tornado and hail, I think those will be down to the southwest and up to the northeast. So let's quickly run through the timing. Here we go. As we move throughout the day, we have these storms continuing to move through portions of the Ohio Valley, Midwest, and then up there towards the mid-Atlantic and New England. Taking a look at Kentucky, southeastern Ohio, West Virginia, we're going to see these kind of scattered strong to severe thunderstorms all day. I do think the main time to watch towards though is after a lot of this early morning, afternoon stuff moves out, we could get some more isolated thunderstorms. I think that could be a little bit more severe. So later in the afternoon and then pushing through the evening hours. Now taking a look out west, this is obviously the area that could get very severe today. As we push into around 4 to 5 p.m., we're going to start seeing these thunderstorms fire off through portions of West Texas and then up here through the panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma. And then we push through 8, 9, 10 p.m. These storms are beginning to move off into the northeast. Oklahoma City, definitely make sure you're paying attention as we get into the evening hours. Right now, the HRRR has these storms right off to your west, but I do think there's a possibility we get some cells that move through the Oklahoma City metro. So let's make sure we have our alerts on and we're paying attention. We're also getting some potentially strong to severe thunderstorms up here to the north as we get into the evening hours as well. It's going to be a pretty quiet day for the most part, but again, once we get into the evening hours, we're going to really see these cells begin to fire off across portions of the plains. Now, as we move into tomorrow morning, we're going to have heavy rainfall through portions of Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, portions of northern Illinois. Not expect it to be too severe though. I do expect some of these severe storms to begin to pop off as we get into around the late afternoon and early evening hours tomorrow. You can see we start to get a line of storms forming just to the east of Omaha. Models have gone back and forth of this. Do we get a squall line or kind of a QLCS forming to the west of Omaha? I still think it's possible, but we'll see. There is some guidance that's suggesting the strongest storms will stay just east kind of Nebraska. So we get into 5, 6, 7, 8 p.m. and you can see we have those strong to severe thunderstorms moving through portions of Iowa, potentially southeastern Nebraska, out here through Kansas and northwestern Missouri. This is the area I'm definitely watching down here, eastern Oklahoma, northwestern Arkansas, and southwestern Missouri as we get into 4, 5, 6 p.m. This is because we potentially have more of a discrete mode down here. So we may have some supercells that kind of have really nice inflow, the skies to themselves, and we could get some very strong supercells down here with some good rotation. And then so definitely late afternoon, early evening. If you're down here in this sector, let's pay attention closely. Dallas-Fort Worth as well, late afternoon, early evening. We could get some strong thunderstorms firing off. And then as we continue to push through the night and into the early morning, we may see these storms become a little bit more linear. You can see we kind of have a split squall line here, and this is going to continue to move off into the east. And then getting into our day 3, this is Saturday. Here we go. Strong thunderstorms begin to move into portions of northeastern Kentucky, eastern Ohio, West Virginia, western PA, and then that Buffalo region out there in western New York. As we get into around 11, 12 a.m., you can see that first squall line moving through and then potentially another one as we push through the afternoon and into the early evening hours. Now, down here through portions of Texas, Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana, this could be a little bit later of an event, but Dallas, you're still potentially seeing strong thunderstorms early in the afternoon on Saturday. Here we go, getting into the early evening hours, and this is where we're probably watching the potential for strong winds through this region here, portions of Mississippi, Tennessee, and maybe south central Kentucky. And then down here through portions of southeastern Texas and Louisiana, this looks right now, this Saturday event looks like it's probably going to really start kicking off around 8 p.m. through midnight. You can see we have some strong storms moving in there, and this could bring the potential for some large hail, damaging winds, and even tornadoes out through this region. Again, I do think they may want to expand this risk zone a little bit further off into the north and east, but we'll see. the Storm Prediction Center kind of knows what they're doing. So, but yeah, these storms could actually be a little bit slower. We could actually see the potential for some damaging storms out here throughout the early morning hours of Sunday as well. As you can see here, maybe pushing through 3 to 4 or even 5 a.m. in the morning, and that's Central Time. I did want to get into more details on our severe weather parameters, although I'm kind of in a rush today and I wanted to make sure I got out this video on time, so we can go over that in the stream later. I'm likely going to try to get on stream around 5 or 6 p.m. when these storms could really be firing off around the Texas Panhandle and western Oklahoma. The last thing I did want to remind everyone of is, yes, we are warm here in the short term, but getting out towards the mid to long term as we push into the second half of March, we still see a big drop of cold air. Of course, we've had that stratospheric polar vortex disruption. We saw this coming. By the way, this is going to set up potentially a significant severe weather outbreak. You get this strong temperature gradient, likely dry air from the north, obviously this very moist warm air from the south, and this could be a big severe weather day. So let's watch out really from the March 12th to the March 17th timeframe for this cold air to dive down into the states. And by the way, there are signals that we could get some snow from this. I never look out 360 hours on the Euro. I just want to show you that there is a signal for snow returning to portions of the Midwest, New England, maybe the Mid-Atlantic, and then up here through portions of the upper Midwest and the Rockies. Like I said, I really appreciate you guys watching this video. If you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And if you want access to all the maps and graphs I look at in all my videos and live streams, you can join my Discord. It is completely free and the link is right down in the description right below this video. We have over 600 weather enthusiasts in there, and it is updated daily with all the latest weather information, from severe weather to winter storms to tropical and even climatological updates. Again, I really appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video or the next live stream.